Welcome to my first podcast ever in the history of Keith Robertsonism. That is my government name. A lot of people call me Duce. A lot of people call me Bill, Keith, Keithy. Girls call me that. Only a select few. Will, whatever. I got a lot of aliases, but the one that I go by for music purposes is Duce Banner. And you are tuned in to the adventures of Duce Banner and his unpopular opinion. I put opinion, my friend wrote opinions. I think opinion sounds better. But yeah, man, this is my first podcast, so bear with me. I thank you for tuning in. I appreciate everybody for just saying that they're excited about it and that they really want to hear what I have to say. That always surprises me when people are excited about my ideas and my thoughts and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. I never grow tired of it. Just want to preface some things off the bat. So if whatever you're expecting, I just want to get that out the way. ASAP, so we can move on and have a good, clean podcast the rest of the way. Who knows how long this will be or how long my podcast history will be, or things of that nature. So I just want to preface some things and just get some things cleared up. I will get sidetracked from time to time, and I will go on tangents. That is one of the effects of having ADD. Yes, that I do have that, and I don't think I have to preface that and let you know that some of the greatest minds have had that. I think people try to tell me that. People try to tell me that as when I tell them that, like, oh, don't be ashamed of it. Because, Albert Einstein and this person and that person. I'm like, I'm good. I know what I'm capable of. I know the struggles that I have, and I know how to overcome them. So, yeah, so I get sidetracked like I just did, and I'll go on tangents. At some point, you will disagree with me. But this is my podcast, so I don't think I'll spend a whole lot of time on like debating or anything like that. I think I'll just, it just is what it is. If you disagree, you can leave it in the comments section. I may reply, but more often than not, I may not. But sometimes you may want to go into depth about what you said, just to explain yourself a little bit better. So I may choose to do that from time to time. But for the most part, what I said is what I said. With that said, I have conservative liberal views. So I don't know if that's a real term or not, but I know my pendulum swings depending on the issue. So I can be very conservative in a lot of ways, and also in a lot of ways I can be very liberal. I don't feel like choosing a side, like, oh, well, I'm conservative or I'm liberal or anything like that. We're people and we're multifaceted, or at least I'm multifaceted. I won't be boxed into this political view, you know what I mean? Because I don't always agree. If I know you, you may get spoken about from time to time. And that's just what it is. This is art to me. I'm an artist. If you affect me in some way, you're going to get spoken about in whatever manner. I'm a songwriter, so you may get spoken about in a song. Like, just as if somebody is a painter, they may express how you have made them feel in some type of way in a painting or whatever it may be. I'm an artist. I'm very expressive. I'm very emotional. So it could be good or bad. If you affect me, I will talk about you, possibly. If it affects me that bad, I'm going to address it. And if I feel like, me addressing it can help somebody, I'll definitely talk about it. But anonymity is a thing that I hold dearly. So I'll never disrespect you if it's in a bad light and say your name. Yeah, you will remain anonymous. I'm glad I got to say that word. Anonymity is a hard word to say. For me at least. What else? I got a list of things. I'm almost done. I'm halfway through this. This is my first podcast, y'all. Bear with me. I'm prefacing some stuff here. Prefacing some stuff. Prefacing some stuff. From time to time, I will have guest hosts, but this is a one-man show. Until I can get more mics, it's just going to be me. But I think maybe the first 3 episodes, you should just start off with me. With it being my show, not like that, but it is my show. So, and this is about me. But ultimately, I want to bounce some ideas off of people and have discussions. And ultimately, I'll get my roommate in here, and I'll get my my good friend in here, and get some female views in here. Have a panel of some sort. It won't just be me every week, I promise. I don't think that I will discuss my job too much. I think discussing my job will probably get me fired. I love my job, but yeah, no. They have real strict rules about that. I will not discuss my church. Church is family. So family business is family business. Just know we not doing anything out here anti-Christ or anything like that. But yeah, that's another sacred type of thing. Anonymity, people. Another point. I know that I'm going to lose friends due to this podcast. Well, maybe not friends. I say the word friend loosely. Let me put the bunny ears up. I don't think that I'll lose friends, because if you were my friend, if you were really my friend, could we really, could you, I don't think I'll say anything detrimental to our friendship, but I think if I'm expressing myself in a way that you disagree with and it hurts you that bad to where you no longer want to be my friend, this, I don't think I'm going to say anything irreconcilable. We're going to get through it. So I may lose some associates, and I'm completely fine with that. One less person to judge, one more problem alleviated. And for those that don't know, I have a really nonchalant attitude, and what you might gather through this podcast, you might learn a lot more about me than I would like. I have detachment issues. I think I might have them. Because if you out of my life, I'm not gonna sound like an Instagram meme or anything like that. But just know, if you're out of my life, I really take it to heart, and I'm like, okay, that was your decision, and I respect it, and I deal with that very maturely. So yeah, with that said, like I said, long story short, I'm probably going to lose some relationships, and I'm fine with that as long as I gain the right ones. As an artist, another point, as an artist, I cannot speak objectively, or you will view it that I can't speak objectively because I'm an artist, a musical artist, in some whatever form. I'm not Grammy nominated or anything like that, but I do write songs. I'm very vocal about my music choice and all of that stuff. But people are like, if you're an artist, you can't talk about this and that because you're an artist and you think differently, or you're jealous. They'll throw that out there quick. You jealous? I'm like, what am I jealous of? What God has for them is for them, and what He chose for me is for me. I'm not jealous. I don't want what they have. I want what's coming to me. That's what I want. But people don't think like that. So as an artist, I'll just say this, as an artist, I cannot speak objectively. So the only music I will be critiquing is my own. But to counter that, I will give artistic suggestions each week. So I'll talk about So even this week, at the end of the podcast, I'll talk about an artist and say, hey, you should pick up this or that person's music or listen to this and that person's music. So I'll give a suggestion like, hey, this is what I'm listening to. This is what my aux cord is picking up right now. I say and you know what I'm saying a lot. So if you can't handle that, this podcast is probably not for you. But for public speaking purposes, I'm working on it. And just so, the fluidity, want us to have a good podcast without all these which is why I would like to have other people on the podcast. So also, if you know any guests that would like to be on the show, anybody that's like promoting a book or promoting music or anything like that, a show or Instagram series, somebody that you think is really doing it big out here, or they should be on a bigger platform or whatever, or could even help me out. I'm just starting a podcast, y'all. You know what I mean? Don't hesitate to leave their name or their information in the contact, in the comments, wherever it may be, on whatever platform this is going to be on. So I'm sorry I prefaced so long. I'm sorry I prefaced so long. So we're just going to get it started. So we're going to start off with why I decided to do a podcast. Like I've been saying throughout for the past 12 minutes, I'm an artist, and a lot of people have expressed to me we love what you do. We like the videos that you do. We like the songs that you do. Every now and then you have a dope status. You're very insightful. You have a unique perspective. You just need to be more consistent. And so I was with my friend on Valentine's Day. Well, he was one of the people I was with on Valentine's Day, and he told me, he was like, look, he told me all those things, like pretty much echoing everything that everybody else has said. He was like, you started a YouTube page and your videos are cool, man, but you lack consistency. So this is the official marker of me being consistent, and I decided not to wait. So I was always waiting on doing a podcast. I'm going to wait on this person and that person. And he basically, just go. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm just going. And, so you'll be able to hear my perspective on music to a degree, movies to a degree, current events, all that type of stuff. So, just to stay consistent and, just remain in the quote unquote public eye. So with that said, a lot has happened this week, in the past few days, really. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. Let's start off with, and I'm not going to talk about everything. Some stuff we could just agree on, like killing unarmed black people. Cops killing unarmed black people is wrong, period. I hope that we can agree on that. If we cannot agree on that, please stop listening right now and go to your nearest African History Museum or something like that. Please go get some perspective. I don't think that this podcast will do you that service. We're just gonna roll with equality for all in every extreme. We're just gonna. This is just what it is. I don't think that that's an issue that we need to discuss, or if it comes up, it comes up. Like I saw the interview with Tommy, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, in Charlemagne the God, and I only got through half of it. I couldn't really do it. So, and it was just like the idea that people are trying to, when people talk about the black community, as I say, I'm not going to get into it, and then I get into it, right? The idea that we have to stop killing ourselves first, or we have to stop selling drugs in our community first, or we have to respect ourselves first before other people can respect us, and all of that type of stuff. And in order for us to stop killing, why should we care about y'all when y'all don't care about yourselves? Like, that is the worst argument I have ever heard. That is the epitome of bigotry in my mind. And you know what I mean? Like, do you really think that that's a valid argument? So, you know, I just can't do it. I just can't do it. And we're having the same argument over and over and over. So, with that said, a lot happened this weekend. We got the Grammys. We had the All-Star game. The Grammys was yesterday, so that's not even technically the weekend. It's not the weekend. But I visited New Jersey, and I drove 13 and a half hours from Atlanta, Georgia, with my homeboy. And I dropped him off in Virginia, and I rode all the way up to New Jersey. And we'll get to that. Kendrick Lamar's Grammy performance. A sleeper. Something just happened. I'm looking on the internet, and I'm on Facebook. And so something just popped up at me. So we'll get to Sage the Gemini at some point in this podcast. And I'm like almost 20 minutes in, and I'm only trying to do 45 minutes, but we'll see what happens. I know that you all don't want to hear me talk for an hour. I don't want to hear me talk for an hour. So we'll see. We'll cut it down. But I had a Valentine's date, and that was an experience. And it's a small part of a larger issue, so we'll get to that as well. And I was going to talk about the current Black agenda, but I think I kind of just touched on it. So yeah. Also, I'm a Christian, and I have much conviction in saying that. So my views sometimes will be Christian views, and that's okay. I can think objectively, although a lot of people think otherwise when it comes to Christianity and stuff, like, oh, you're not objective and you just you're just so closed-minded. I promise you I'm not that, but truth is truth and lies are lies. So I think you'll find that I'm not like the typical Christian, yet and still very much so a Christian. So let's hurry up and get into these topics real quick. We'll talk next week. I don't think that I'll be prefacing next week. And if I do, it'll be much shorter. But yeah. So we'll get into these topics much longer than 20 minutes, because I don't want to do an hour podcast with just me talking, as I already stated. So Kobe's last All-Star game. They were trying to make Kobe cry. I truly believe that. So they had like 4 videos before this guy even stepped foot on the court for tip-off. You know, like, they were trying to make him cry. They had Magic Johnson introducing him and all of that stuff. And, you know, they had this special announcement, had him come out last of all the All-Stars and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, I almost shed a thug tear because I love Kobe Bryant, and I know a lot of people don't. But greatness is greatness. I did not like LeBron James for the longest. And I would say that he was trash and all of that stuff, but only because you know how you deny somebody's greatness just because you can't deny their greatness. So you're trying to deny it. But yeah, whether you like him, love him, hate him, he was good for the game. You hating him is good for the game. You know what I mean? If you hated Kobe Bryant, that means you like that. It means you love somebody else, right? It's good for the game. All that competition and stuff like that, and Kobe, LeBron is better than Kobe, this, that, and third. You wouldn't have had that if it wasn't for Kobe Bryant. You know what I mean? He was one of those guys that you love to love, and you love to hate, whichever side of that you're on. Yeah, I don't think when it comes to Kobe, I don't think a lot of people are in the middle. It's not like, oh, he's okay. I think he's a great player. I don't have any feelings for him whichever way. I think it's like, yo, I love Kobe Bryant, or you think he's arrogant. And it's never even basketball related for why people don't like Kobe Bryant. They're like, oh, that girl in Colorado, or I just think he's arrogant. I'm like, okay, but 5'10", and we'll get off of it because I know a lot of people that don't like Kobe Bryant, but you can't deny it. That's my point. So yeah, and it was watching it and watching him play. I was hoping that he would get MVP, but I knew it was a long shot because I know that he's not at the same level as these guys anymore. He's averaging 16 points a game, but he's taking like 20-something shots a game. So it's not the Kobe that we're used to seeing. Well, it is the Kobe that we're used to seeing for the past 2 years, as much as or as little as we've gotten to see him. But yeah, when you saw him up against those guys, you knew it was just time to go. Like, man, it's okay, Kobe. You can hang it up, and we thank you for the memories. But now you gotta take a seat, go be with your wife, go be with your girls. Maybe have a son that's just like you or plays just like you. I'd appreciate that as a basketball fan. Go do that. But yeah, it's time to have a seat. So yeah, Kobe, it was hard to watch sometimes. Even that first shot going in, like a drain, like a toilet flushing and stuff. I'm like, I hope he makes this shot. And like, it's like, because this might be the only shot that he makes all game. But it was just time for Kobe to go. All-Star Weekend was dope. All together. Everything from I don't typically watch the All-Star festivities on Fridays because I just think it's all whack. The celebrity stuff, I couldn't care less about that. But Saturday is my day, and Sunday if I watch it, it's just on. Like, yeah, when I watched it on Sunday, it was just on. But yeah, the 3-point contest was dope. I'm glad Clay got the W over Steph Curry, and for one night he wasn't in Steph Curry's shadow. So that was cool to see. At least somebody from my team got something. And yes, I'm a Golden State Warriors fan. I have been one for 3 years. I'm not gonna lie. I made the leap last year. I'm from New Jersey. I've been a free agent for a few years now because, my beloved Nets moved to Brooklyn, and now I don't like them. The Knicks, I tried to like the Knicks, but they just weren't doing it for me. I've hated them for so long, I just couldn't do it. So this young spry team was coming up, and I decided to be a Warriors fan. So it was cool to see Clay get one. And yeah, cool to see him and Steph go back and forth. I think the dunk contest was the best one that we've seen in a long time. I can't say ever because I was born in 89, so I can't say ever. I heard 88 was really dope with Michael Jordan and Dominique Wilkins, although I've seen it, but that was years ago. My dad came running downstairs. I had a few people over. We were playing Monopoly, and that was the theme of the week. We were playing I played Monopoly maybe 3 out of the 4 days I was in Jersey. My dad, he came downstairs. He was like, hey, who do you guys think won? And I was like, Levine. And he was like, oh. And my friend Jeff, he was like, I think Gordon won. And my dad was like, yeah, I think Gordon got robbed. And so I'm looking at the previous dunks that Gordon got. He might have gotten robbed, but I don't think people know really what it takes to glide from the free throw line to the rim. I don't think people really know. It's a different type of hop that you have to have. You know what I mean? And for him to do it so effortlessly, I can't say effortlessly. Levine just looks like he's supposed to be there. Like whenever he's up in the air, he just looks like he's supposed to be there. Like, yo, you were born in the air and now you're airborne. So, play on words. But so yeah, the All-Star game festivities were cool. Kevin Hart tying with Draymond Green, that was pretty cool to watch. Me and my dad, we had a little giggle about that. Like Kevin Hart, he doesn't even play basketball every day, I'm sure. And Draymond Green, you get paid to play basketball every day. So that was really fun to see. What else happened? Yeah, I'll talk about the toes later. I might cut that out. Okay, we'll talk about this because I talked about this on my Snapchat, which was one of the reasons why I started a podcast. I did like this little night segment one night, and everybody was just tuned in, and everybody was commenting, and it was really dope. So, and somebody was like, "What is this? A night? What is this? What do you call it? Smooth jet? Not the nightly storm or whatever, something like that. Like just smooth talking at the end of the night or whatever on the radio station." So I was like, "Hey, man, I might do a podcast by myself." So yeah, we'll come back to that. We'll talk about this. Valentine's Day was on Sunday. I originally had planned on seeing someone and seeing if they wanted to get up for Valentine's Day. Long story short, that fell through. We no longer speak. And that is a whole nother conversation. I will not allow my ADD to take me to that conversation right now. So I reached out to another young lady. I saw her, and how sometimes you just get caught in a moment and you'll see a picture of somebody. It's like, yo, she looks exceptionally good looking today in these pictures, right? And sometimes that could get the best of you. Sometimes that can skew your judgment, right? And she'll probably be listening to this, but that is okay. So hopefully she's going to learn something today. Hopefully she's going to learn something today, and hopefully you will too. So we're about to get to the nitty gritty, and I think I'm finally hitting my stride with this podcast thing right now. This is what I wanted to talk about, right? So, yeah. So I see her, and we're talking back and forth, and I was like, yo, you look exceptionally good in these pictures, right? In so many words. And she's like, thank you. And I'm like, I'm half joking, but I'm half serious. Like, I wouldn't care if she said no, right? So I'm like, do you have a Valentine? And she was like, no, I don't. And I was like, well, you do now, right? So she's like, all right, cool. And she was like, are you going to be here? Are you going to be in Jersey? She's in Jersey. I said, yes, I will be in Jersey. I'm coming to Jersey, right? So I will see you on the 14th. We're going to do this and that. Da, 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 da. She wasn't down with a lot of stuff, which was a telltale sign in that moment. But, I hate when I ignore signs. But let's get this. Let's get the basis of this relationship. She is, I'm not going to say a friend, but she is a strong acquaintance. I don't use the term friend lightly. I don't use it loosely. So we know each other. We've known each other for a long time. Her family knows my family. They go back generations, right? When I say generations, maybe like one, right? So I'm like, okay. So the day comes. I'm like, I don't want to be there empty-handed. I half didn't want to even do it after a while, right? Because, I'm with my friends and they're like, yo, what are you doing Valentine's Day? And I'm like, dag, I got to take this person out. And it became more of a burden than anything. It's like, now I don't even want to do it. I know that, I don't even know why I did it. I know why I did it, but I don't know why I did it. So push come to shove, I ask her, I'm like, because I don't want to be doing this all day. We'll see how it goes. So if the day goes well and she's cool during the day, maybe we could get up later on in the day. Maybe it's cool enough for her to kick it with my friends. Because when I'm with my friends, and I know I'm going to have a good time with my friends. So I'm not trying to have anybody mess that up. Like, don't bring this variable into the equation, of a controlled equation. Don't jack up my day that I know is going to go great because I have great friends and we always have a good time together, right? So I'm like, okay, if it goes well, maybe I'll bring her, right? So I go to the store that day, and the day of, I'm a day of kind of guy. So I go the day of, I pick up some candy, I pick up a card, and I pick up an iTunes card, a $15 iTunes card. That's virtually an album and a half. That's, that's a month's worth of Apple Music. A month and a half's worth of Apple Music. No, that might even be 2 months. No, yeah, that's almost 2 months worth of Apple Music, right? Of the subscription, right? So I'm like, I know she listens to music heavy. She has an iPhone. This will benefit her. She listens to music. She buys music. I'm like, you still buying music? But she buys music. Like, I just have Apple Music. I don't pirate music or anything like that. Me being a musician, it's just, I don't believe in karma, but I do believe in what goes around comes around, which in that sense, I do believe in karma. So I bought her a $15 card. That's basically, I just spent $20 on you and we're going out to eat. So I'm like, okay. In my mind, I'm like, she might not know the rules to this. But I'm already getting upset. I'll create scenarios in my head and I'll get upset, right? Character flaw. I drive to the spot. She's there before me. She got me a seat. That's neither here nor there. So I sit down rather, and she's like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?" And I don't see anything with her. She doesn't have anything in her possession. So I look and I'll say, "Hey, I gave her the stuff that I had," and she was like, "Thank you." And I was like, so what you get me? Now let's take a pause real quick. I'm not that guy. When I give, 90% of the time, I'm not looking to receive 90% of the time, but I am a reciprocal type of guy. And you have to reciprocate in some type of way, right? If I perform an act of service, I do expect to hear a thank you. If If I cook dinner for you, I do expect you to clean up. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that, like 50-50, 100-100. If you go 1 mile, I'm going to go 2, just because I'm appreciative of that 1 mile, that 1 extra mile that you went, right? So I'm not really that guy. So don't take me for that guy. I mean, I do stuff out of the kindness of my heart, but when it's not appreciated, I do tend to feel away. You know what I mean? As contrary as I just made that seem, but y'all understand where I'm coming from. So I say, hey, what you get me? You'll hardly ever hear me say that. And if I say that, I'm joking. But this wasn't the day to be joking. I'm dead serious on this day. Valentine's Day is the day, like usually 9 times out of 10, I don't have a Valentine in a pocket. But I do know that is the one day I don't want to be by myself. I'm always by myself. I like to be by myself. Valentine's Day is not the day that I don't want to be reciprocating some type of love. It's just not. Right? So today was the day where I'm like, It's not like it was Christmas. Christmas, I'm not tripping. I'm not like, what you give me? I'm not tripping off that. Valentine's Day, that's the day for me. You know what I mean? To say you know what I mean? If we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna be my Valentine, you're gonna be my Valentine. That's what's gonna happen, right? Something just dropped. Don't even worry about that. That's mail. So I say, hey, yeah. So where's my stuff? Maybe it's in her purse or something. I'm thinking. I'm like hoping. Like, don't let me act a fool in this Perkins right now, because you ain't get me nothing. So she goes, I ain't get you nothing. You asked me out. I said, wait. In my mind, like my head flew off. Like in my mind, I was upset. I was livid. So I just immediately, I put my head into the menu, and I looked at that menu for about 15 minutes. The waitress came with some water, and I'm like, thank you, I need that water because I'm getting really upset. My throat is dry because I'm upset. She, you know, and the girl, she's like, are you okay? I'm like, mm-hmm. But I'm not trying to be that guy that ruins the day for somebody, even though I feel like I'm being mistreated right now. So, you know, I try to conjure up some type of conversation, but all the while I'm thinking you're either going to pay for your own food at this point, or like, because this was not a date. Like, you're either going to pay for your own food at this point, or like you're going to get cursed out. Something, you know what I mean? Like, it's not an option. I'm not paying for your stuff, but I need to figure out how to say this nicely, you know? And I need to figure out how to say, but I got you something, without saying, but I got you something, you know? You know, like, wait, why isn't this clicking for her? And I was getting upset just thinking about having to think about that. So, you know, so we talk. She talks to me about some stuff that I had spoken to her previously about, I guess, to get the wheels turning. Like, well, this jogs his, you know, his conversational self or whatever, you know. So I started talking to her about that. But the whole time I'm thinking, I'm not paying for your stuff, and this is probably the last time that I'm ever going to want to see you again, you know. And I hope she's listening. I really do. I hope you're listening, because that was really fouled up in my mind. In a lot of people's mind, it was fouled up. Everybody knows this is the day where you exchange stuff. If you're my Valentine, you don't just get. You don't get to get. You get to get, and you get to give. Like, what? So the day goes, she brings the check, and I was like, so we splitting this, right? I'm like, that was a great way to say it. That's the best thing that I could come up with at this time. So we splitting this, right? I'm like, I'm gonna just be that guy. I'm gonna just be that guy, because you were that girl. I'm gonna just be that guy. So she goes, you know what? Okay. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, it is okay, because. And I told her, and I was like, I literally said that. I was like, it is okay. You don't know what's in that card. You don't know how much I paid. You don't know how much I have in my bank account. You don't know how much I could have, you know what I mean? You don't know the sacrifice that somebody's making. And this is my point. So this is to women, and this is to any man that's thinking what I'm saying, but doesn't want to articulate it for whatever reason. Probably some woman has him by the neck or something like that. I'm going to say it for all of us. Women, why do you all feel entitled to everything? Why? Like, there's some things that you're just entitled to just because you're a woman. And that is your birthright. Absolutely. Absolutely. Right? You're supposed to be treated like a woman. I think even to the point when, even though you're not sometimes, you know, we're still, even though you don't carry yourself as a lady, it would be in my best interest to still treat you like a lady. Just be, you know what I mean? If I'm to say that I'm a gentleman, you know, there's a lot of things that you're entitled to just because you are a woman. But then there are some things that you're not entitled to. It's just some things that you don't just get to get just because you're a woman. And I think, You know what I mean? And I'm like, and I told her, I was like, I did not ask you out. I asked you to be my Valentine. So I'm like, okay, maybe there was a disconnect in our communication somehow to where she felt like she didn't have to do anything for me on that day. And you're right. She didn't have to do anything for me. We are not together. But how do you expect to get anywhere with someone? So you wanted a date. And you wanted a freak, like, really, did you really think that I was going to spend $50 on somebody who's not my girlfriend and who I'm not interested in? Like, did you really think that? And in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm like, Keith, maybe she's just never had a real Valentine before. Maybe this is how it's always done. I'm like, okay, either way, she's been misinformed. You know what I mean? So women, I have a mother and I have a sister, so I know how it goes. My mom, she said she never went anywhere without any money. If she went on a date, she went with some money because she knew that she might have to pay, right? So I just don't get that. Like, no, on some days, yeah, sure. If something's established, sure. But if I'm saying, yo, be my Valentine, and you're like, oh, okay. Like, did you, like, I don't know where in your mind that says, oh, free meal, free gifts, free candy, free this and that. And then she had the nerve to tell me that she had a lollipop for me. I got to go back to my house and I got you a lollipop. I'm like, I never want to see you again. In my mind, I was just sitting there like thinking like, yo, I can't wait to get up from this table so I can start my life on never seeing her again. And it was that bad for me at that moment. So women, please, before you go anywhere, please check your ego at the door. Please check your, become valid, validate yourself. Validate yourself. Don't allow a date or a man to validate you. Be validated already, right? Like bring your own money here's my point. You are worth it. Absolutely. And I think the internet is well documented in letting women know at this point that they are worth it. You see, I see interviews and blogs and all this type of stuff about women being worth it. We get it. You are worth it. But in all your worth and all your getting, please don't forget that man might be worth it as well. He might be worth it as well. And it just goes back to the golden rule. Treat people how you want to be treated. Treat people how you want to be treated. And, and for me, I just got to remember not everybody was raised how I was raised, but at some point, you got to learn some stuff. I don't care about that Arrested Development crap. At some point, you got to learn some stuff. And I'm here to teach you. Or I won't be here to teach you, one or the other. So I think I'm 45 minutes in, just about. So I just want to say Kendrick Lamar's Grammy performance was dope. I didn't see the Grammys. I don't watch the Grammys. It's just I think about Kanye West every time I think about a Grammy. I'm like, why do you want a Grammy so bad, bro? They clearly don't want to give it to you. Why do you want something that people don't want to give to you? Like, why do you want it? Why do you feel like you have to be accepted by these people? But that's another thing. That's a whole nother conversation that we might have on another podcast. But I don't have much to say about Kendrick Lamar's Grammy performance. I think there's a lot of symbolism in it. He might need to break it down. I don't want to say for the artist what it is. But I'm sure there's a lot of symbolism in it, and I would like for him to break that down to us. I was taken a little aback, but in a good way. And I felt proud to be black, and I felt proud that Kendrick Lamar was black. The things that he was saying, the song choices that he chose, I appreciated it. And I'm glad that he chose all right to do. I'm not the biggest Kendrick Lamar fan either. I respect his talent. I think he's very talented. I respect it, and I enjoy it, but I can't listen to Kendrick like every day. It's just too much sometimes. But he's really, really dope. Sometimes he's on the cusp of being too dope for his own good. So like everybody thinks that like they get it. Like if you listen to him, like, oh, I get it. It's like, no, you're just saying you get it so you can sound deep and so that you can sound woke and stuff like that. But you don't always get it, and it's okay. Sometimes you need to say, hey, Kendrick, you better break this stuff down, player. And I think as an artist, if you're an artist, sometimes you want to explain your work. So yeah, I think I'm proud of Kendrick and what he did last night. I found myself hoping like that white people like felt guilty about some stuff. Like, not even gonna lie to you. I was like, yeah, I'm seeing all these people standing up and clapping and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, y'all better change some things. Y'all better get some clean water in Flint. You know, it's like, I feel like something needed to change after that performance. And I'm pretty sure that was the type of emotion he was trying to evoke from that audience and from America and the world at large. So yeah, I touched on Kobe's last All-Star game. Tolls in New Jersey, maybe another time. I'm an hour and I'm 46 minutes in. I don't want to do that. I'll get into tolls another day if that ever comes up. Just know I paid a lot for tolls this past weekend. They were bugging out, and Siri swears that I have Easy Pass. She's like, veer left. I'm like, I don't have Easy Pass, so I'm going through Easy Pass just collecting debt. I'm not even getting no money. So I think, okay, yeah. Tolls in New Jersey are the worst. Tolls are the worst, period. I'm thinking about moving back to Jersey. If I don't move back to Jersey, it's solely for the tolls. Trust me. And one last thing, since we're on the topic of love and all that type of stuff, I saw a very disturbing post on Facebook today, and I was just utterly disgusted. And I know a lot of you will not agree with me. I'm pulling it up on my phone as we speak. My goodness, I was utterly disgusted. And the person who posted it, you know, they disagreed with my point, which I'm well versed in. That's why this podcast is the name that it is. My opinion is not shared with the world. It is my unpopular opinion. And my opinions get me in trouble. My opinions get me less friends. My opinions get me not spoken to. My opinions get me not invited to certain things. My opinions get things not said to me. You know what I mean? And I'm fine. I'm fine with that. But just know that if necessary, you're always going to know how I feel. If necessary. Now, I think just letting it be known how you feel all the time, that's unnecessary. But yeah, I'll just read it. It's I'm learning who this guy is. His name is Sage the Gemini. I think I've heard a song from his. I'm not a fan by any stretch of the imagination. I read up on him on Wikipedia. That's how much I cared about him as a person. He might be a great artist. I've heard, like, think the two songs they named, I was like, oh, those aren't even good songs. But that's me. That's me. And it's my unpopular opinion. But it disturbed me what he did. And I think he's putting men in a bad spot. And I don't right now. And I don't appreciate it, Sage the Gemini. Do I have to say the whole thing every time I say your name? So I'll read it to you. It's a post of him and Jordan Sparks in the club. He's looking away. Jordan Sparks is looking at him. She's smiling. You know, it seems like she's saying something in his ear or whatever. And it reads, this is taken from his Instagram. It's from shaderoom.com. So I'll read it to you real fast. So it's a picture, and then the caption under here reads, "Can't sit here and act industry like this. It don't bother me. You the only girl I can call at 3 a.m. and you'll answer no problem. You the only girl that can wake up out of a dead sleep and get me some water because I was coughing in my sleep. The only girl that loves me the way you were supposed to. I wish you too much I miss you too much to watch you look so amazing at the Clyde Davis party and not be able to call you and express how much I appreciated the look because you won't answer nor text back. The feeling is horrible. That was a run-on sentence, and I want to stop there for a moment. First error, right? Well, two errors right here. Number one, why, Sage, are you doing this? Why are you massacring yourself over the internet? Do you think that this is going to make her say, "Oh, he really cares"? Like, why do I care? First of all, I don't care that y'all broke up. Somebody cares that y'all broke up. So we'll talk to those people, right? Say these people care that you broke up. It's not about those people. It is about the person that you're talking to, which you shouldn't even be talking to. What you need to do, you need to send her some flowers. You need to go to her house if she hasn't ordered a restraining order against you or something. Or you need to, you know where she be at. You know where she stays. I don't think her whole life has changed because y'all not together. Y'all dated for 10 months is what I'm reading. So I don't, So I don't think her life has drastically changed. As far as like her pattern, she might just not be over your house or whatever. That's number one. Number two, do you really think that she put that dress on or whatever she was wearing to the Clyde Davis party for nothing? Do you think that she did that for nothing? She did that, bro, so that just for the very reason for what you just did, for the same reason that you did what you just did, so you can say, "Hey man, you look really good at that party," so you can feel it. She made you feel it. That's what she wanted. She wanted you to feel it. And I think you know that. But that doesn't help your case. She wanted you to know what you missing or what you lost already. And already you there. Already you playing her game. And I don't think it's a winning game. It's not like one of those games like where you're like, I just want him to know what he's missing. And I may be wrong. I don't know Jordan Sparks. I don't know Sage the Gemini, but I know women. And I know sometimes they'll be playing games and the game is not designed for you to win in the end. It's not always like that, Sage. So what she might be doing is just letting you know. I don't know how badly you hurt her, bro, but I'm not going to say that y'all not going to get back together, but this ain't how you do it. That's all I'm saying. So where am I? That long run-on sentence. He said, "You see this picture?" So first of all, she's not texting you back. It's not even like she, because you said she's not texting you back. So it's not like she's texting you back like, Sage the Gemini, don't text me back anymore, please. Or it's not like she having like a conversation with you. Like she's not holding a conversation with you. You do, first of all, and I guess what you're doing, you're trying to get your hive, if you have a hive, like the Sage Gemini hive, to tag her in this stuff and like to show her and stuff. I really don't think she cares. You look pathetic, bro. You look pathetic. The girl who posted it, she just thought it was the sweetest thing. And I'm like, this isn't going to work well in his favor. That is, if Jordan Sparks is real. I don't think she's the type of girl that just leaves just to prove a point. I could be wrong. I don't know these people. But he said, that's the picture of me looking at niggas, looking at you and giving them the eye. Like, what's up, nigga? And you look like, it's okay, babe. And you making me smile and feel just a little more secure about it. It kind of reminds me of the picture of the little lady standing in front of the Hulk and being the only one that can calm him down. That's you, you know? You're corny. You're corny, Sage. You're corny, Sage. You're corny, Sage. He's corny. But yeah, I'm gonna curse. Just to see, just to show. I don't like censoring myself. So I'm gonna read what he's saying. And that's, like I said, I'm a believer, and I'm sure that Christians will be listening to this. So I just want to preface it for that. But I won't make cursing a habit on here. But I'm sure there will be guests on here that will use choice words, and I won't bleep it out, and I won't stop them from doing that because I just don't like things to be censored. I like for people to have scruples. You know what I mean? But if you be who you're going to be. And I think that's a part of who people are. But you may agree, you may not agree. This is my unpopular opinion. But yeah, this shit is crazy. I just want to tell you, I'm still being a good boy, just in case you come to your senses. Valentine's Day was supposed to be a special day. I wanted that to be our anniversary because it's your grandparents. And maybe we could have double dated, remember? Please, she remembers, Sage. She remembers. She doesn't care anymore. And here's another thing. And I've learned this. I haven't experienced this firsthand, at least I don't think. But when a woman is done, like when y'all break up, she's done way before the breakup, bro. So she was done already. It's not like she forgot this stuff. If she left you, she was fed up. And she was done maybe 2 months out. And that's the scary thing. Like when a woman broke up, and that's why when women, they break up with you and they be fine. That's why when women break up with you, they be fine. And like when dudes, they break up with you, they'll be fine in the beginning. And then they start thinking, because men, we're rational, but we make rash decisions sometimes. So when we break up, we start thinking like, oh man, she wasn't that bad, seeing that the pickings is slim out here. You know what I'm saying? When a woman breaks up with you, she's thought about that joint. She's dwelled on that for a minute. So, and you never know, like, what was the last straw for her? That last straw could have been a year ago, bro. And she's just waiting it out till she finds something else to come along. Women, boy. I love women, but they play a different game. It's different. It's different out here. So you talking about you remember. She remember the other stuff you did too. And he brings up Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day was supposed to be a special day. I wanted that to, and I'm reading it how he's saying it. And that's why I'm jacking up reading, because he doesn't have punctuations where they're supposed to be. He doesn't have periods where they're supposed to be. He's just rambling. So you know he's in his emotions. There's no real thought put into this. I'm putting my sheer emotions out here. Valentine's Day was supposed to be a special day. I wanted that to be our anniversary because it's your grandparents. And maybe we could have double dated, remember? Please call me back. She's not going to call you back. I just want a hug and a kiss or something. He put his government. Sincerely, Dominic Wynn Woods. Like it's a cool government name. It's not Dominic Wynn Woods. It sounds like a girl. Sage, the Gemini, I know you're not listening. I just started this podcast. But if you ever stumble upon this podcast, I wish we could have been friends. So I could have told you not to do what you did, bro. And if by some slim chance Jordan Sparks does come back, maybe I need to take some tips from you, bro. Maybe I don't know enough about women. But I do know that when a woman's fed up, it ain't nothing you could do about it. It's like running out of love, and it's too late to talk about it. I think I'm quoting R. Kelly right. Robert Kelly. As the great philosopher Robert Kelly once said, when a woman's fed up, bro, she was done. She been out that relationship, Sage the Gemini, bro. And if she don't come back, you're just gonna look like a simp, like the simp you are. And as a simp, you don't care in the moment. But when you look back, I've been a simp. Every man has been a simp from time to time. But when you come to your senses, bro, and you look back and you see how things played out, you might regret that, man. You might not regret like letting her know how you feel, but the way in which you did it, I hope you, if you have any type of dignity for yourself, you're going to regret that. But I think that's all that I needed to talk about today. Yeah, I hate to end on that note. Maybe next week I'll end on a more positive note. Or maybe I'll have a scripture or something and we can talk about, maybe I'll do like a little devotional or whatever. And, I'll do that. But, I think this was a good start. Once I got rolling, I think I did all right. I'll listen to this and I'm probably just going to put it out raw. And yeah, oh yeah, I said I was gonna do my my artist suggestion. There's this guy by the name of Anderson .Paak. Anderson, like how you spell Anderson, .Paak. No spaces in between the dot and the pack. And the pack is spelled Paak. He is dope. I'm not saying that you're going to like every song, but you're going to love his sound. You may have heard him on Dr. Dre's Compton, the guy with the real weird voice. It's all in a day's work. Him, he's dope. So check him out. Anderson .Paak. He has a new album out called Malibu. I've been listening to it on and off, like when I want to feel artsy and all of that stuff and feel like I'm really listening to some alternative stuff and all of that, getting inspiration and all that. So yeah, check him out, man. God is love. Jesus saves. All those true cliches. Yeah, man. Have a good day if you're going to work. Maybe you can listen to this. Like, this isn't like something like you sit around a campfire and you listen to me speak. This is like if you're on the road and you know what I mean, and you don't want to hear any music, you want to listen to somebody talk, whatever. I can be that for you. I can be that person for you. Yeah, if you like podcasts, this is for you. Yeah, and I promise to get guests on here, and I promise to be more organized, or maybe I'll just keep it fluid. I'll keep it funky and keep it organic. We'll see what happens. But I thank you all for tuning in. It's greatly appreciated, and I plan on doing much more of these and getting much better at this, and also having people join me. I just had, sometimes you just got to get your ideas out and you just can't wait any longer. Even if it's not perfect, you can work on it and you can perfect it as you go along. I'm having an issue with somebody with some clothing line I'm trying to do, and he thinks it's got to be perfect. And I'm like, it doesn't have to be perfect. We've got some dope stuff. Let's just get it done. That's a whole nother topic. I love him. I love y'all. I'll holler at y'all. Peace out. Have a good week.